guys, Marslingan here, bringing you another Dragon Ball Z Dokkan battle video. And so today we are going to be having a discussion about theories for the worldwide celebration. Obviously that is going to be releasing in the game in a couple of weeks, hopefully sometime within even as early as the next week or so. We should see either a teaser or some kind of reveal as to what it's going to be. But in the meantime, it's always fun to speculate. A lot of you guys have been asking on the recent streams what I want to see. And my buddies, you know some of them from the old Dokkan podcast from 5-9. We got together and decided to do a 3-part little episode collab here where we talk about an idea that we have for the worldwide celebration, present it to the other two, and then give some feedback. So this is actually part 3. So my first guest for the channel who did part 1 over on his is Joe WAGS. So say hello, dude. How are you?
Yo, thanks for having me. Very hyped to be hanging out with my Dokkan podcast buddies again. Very excited and having a lot of fun with you guys today.
Yeah, the reunion. So yeah, his part is part 1 over on his channel. And then, of course, you know him. You've seen him around here many times before. It is our boy MINATO's Flash, who did part 2. How's it going, dude?
Doing well. I'm the Minato's Flash, actually, and I'm very happy to be here.
The Minato's Flash, yeah, big fan. So, yeah, we are here for part 3 to discuss my thoughts on the worldwide celebration. As I said, I've talked about this, I think, quite a few times now over the last few weeks on streams, because it's something that is a hot topic for discussion at the moment. So I feel like this is one that not only is very possible, but I think would be very, very good. Now, obviously, it's not, for me, my #1 pick in terms of hype. I'm not even sure I know what that would be. I mean, knowing me, it would probably be something like Heroes, but obviously that's impossible for worldwide. But so we are going with, as you can see on the screen, I've got the main category page up here, Future Saga. So this is a category that needs to get massive buffs. A lot of the best units on this team, well, there's 1 or 2 that are recent, but a lot of the best teams like in this category's heyday are quite old now or in desperate need of easy A's, and I think this gives us a lot of opportunities to have new versions of characters as well as good easy A's, which I think is what makes a good theme for the worldwide celebration. Because if we look back to last year's one, we got not only some of the new best units in the game with the new LRs, but we got a ton of easy A's. So I wanted to pick something that would go pretty hand in hand with that. So we're going to break down into separate sections and then get our thoughts from the guests. So the first part I obviously wanted to talk about is who are the headline units going to be. So I didn't put too much thought into like what their kits would be or anything like that, but I think the unit choices are some characters that definitely need more representation or new representation. So the first one, and obviously the big one, I know you fans of him have been waiting for a new card for a long time, and that would obviously be a Vegito Blue. So there's 2 different ways they could go about doing this, either a standalone Vegito Blue, because we haven't had a new one for ages, or we could get a blue Goku and Vegeta who then fuse into Vegito Blue, because we've got almost every single other version of Goku and Vegeta that then fuse into either Vegito or Gogeta now, pretty much, apart from Vegito Blue. So I feel like that could be a solid option. And then I think I would go with a similar thing to like part 1, where the extreme unit is the Dokkan Fest and the super unit is the Carnival. Because I think Vegito Blue is on some very interesting categories that could make for a good straight up like 200% leader skill. And then the Dokkan Fest LR to go alongside him would be a Fusion Zamasu. It would be the corrupted version, right, with the big purple goo arm. And again, there's 2 different ways I think they could do this. Because I want him to be able to link with other units, because like Int LR Fusion Zamasu needs a good home and like a good 200% team that actually has the other Goku Black and Zamasu units on it. So the 2 ideas that I had was you either make him kind of like the Piccolo Jr. and some of these other characters are, where he would be named Fusion Zamasu Giant Form, and then he has a Giant Form, because I know he does get pretty big at one point, so you could have that as like an active skill. Or you do him as a base form Zamasu and Goku Black that then fuse into Zamasu. Now, obviously, we basically already have that animation as the intro for the Int LR. So I was thinking that they could fuse and then instantly have, as part of the intro, then obviously transform into the corrupted version with the half purple thing, right? So it'd be maybe a slightly longer intro, but because they've already done the fusion, they could kind of skip past that quite quickly. So that would be part 1, and then part 2 is a Dokkan Fest exclusive LR Sword of Hope Trunks. I know he's not everybody's like favorite unit, and I know people have their thoughts on that end of the saga and everything, but I do think getting a new really strong powerful Trunks card with a solid 200% leader skill would be good. Plus the Spirit Sword, you know, say what you will about how it gets used, how it gets explained or not explained, but it looks pretty damn cool. So having a modern day animation version of it I think would be pretty good. But then for his counteracting part 2, the Carnival LR, I went with a base form Goku Black, because there are a couple of options that obviously you guys can probably even guess that we're going to talk about a bit later on in the video for EZAs. So I thought rather than have another Rose or another transforming Goku Black, just have a straight up base form Goku Black. Because I remember when the physical one first came out and how hype he was, especially on Global, obviously when he got his exclusive buffs. And then yeah, he could be the Carnival LR. So essentially both of the part 2 LRs that are extreme, or sorry, both of the celebration LRs that are extreme would be able to give 200% leader skills to all the Goku Black and Zamasu units, which I know is something that people have been waiting for a long time. So obviously I want to know what you guys think, especially when it comes to the unit choices. So Minato, let me start off with you. What are your thoughts and feedback?
I'd be completely down with that. I think Future Saga definitely needs like assistance, and it's been a while since it's been, you know, kind of represented in the game, I guess is a good way to say it. In terms of like a lot of these characters could use good animations again, like you said. I believe you brought up Rose for part 2, and I believe you were also saying before about like a base Goku Black that transforms into Rose, if I'm not mistaken, right?
Well, I was saying I would just go for base Goku Black because we have those other, like we have Rosés and we have ones that could easy A, right? So I think it'd just be cool because base Goku Black, a lot of people love Rosé, so they just kind of want every Goku Black to either be transforming or to be in Rosé already. But if you think back to like the very beginning of the arc, like an LR base form Goku Black, he could have the reveal that's the intro that's kind of like his reveal, you know, like the fighters thing or whatever, where like flames are all over the screen and then they clear and it's just him stood on that building like looking down at Trunks. Like that as an intro for a part 2 LR I think would be awesome. So
and then you said that would be the Dokkan Fest, right? If I'm not mistaken.
Part 2, yeah, he'd be the Carnival, yeah.
I was thinking Zamasu in part 1 would be the Dokkan Fest, right? Mm-hmm. Yeah. See, this is what happens. Kids, get your 8 hours of sleep. Anyways, so I honestly, obviously, Vegeta Zamasu would be really good, and I think for villains especially, having like a Dokkan Fest leader is just really, really important. And then, like you said, Goku Black, I believe, would just be like a 200% that fits out the Goku Black and Zamasu's under there. Maybe even give Zamasu like a regeneration leader or something. Mm-hmm. And we could be cooking for sure. I mean, yeah, I'd be very excited for that. I'm a very big villain fan. Yeah. So as much as like Vegeta's a making me so excited too, villains would be the most beneficial from this celebration, and I really like the choices for those because Goku, because like I'm sure you talked about we'll talk about the EZAs later, but you know there's some potential Rose EZAs, but there's no base from Goku Black representation like that we could really get like an even EZA for. So that'd be a good idea.
Yeah, because I think it'd be cool, like you said, so villains need that buff, right? So having Zamasu be the Dokkan Fest, and even if his leader skill did include all of the Goku Black units, he obviously has some of those other categories that can make for good villain teams. And then, yeah, for the Carnival Goku Black, you just give him straight up, like, a team that will be all the Goku Blacks and Zamasus, so... But yeah, Joe, what are your thoughts on the unit picks and, you know, the theme in general?
Yeah, I think this is a theme that actually has a very high chance. I think overall, when I think of all the themes, I think this is probably my number 1 or my number 2 pick for most likely.
Yep.
So I think it's very, very much up there. I think the way I structured mine was a little bit different where, you know, you kind of did yours all like the Goku Black arc, and I kind of did one part Goku Black arc, and I did the other part more the Future Gohan arc, or the Future Gohan movie. So that's kind of what I went with mine. The one thing I want to say going into it, Dokkan has never done this before, but I would love them to actually fix a couple of unit names for the celebration. Mainly, I want them to separate Sword of Hope Trunks from like the normal Dragon Ball Z Trunks. And then I think Fusion Zamasu needs to be fixed because they have the Fusion Zamasu and then they have the like the big messed up one with the purple arm. I want him to have a different name.
Yeah,
corrupted, because they're both just called Fusion Zamasu.
Exactly,
right?
That's why the idea that, because I mean, it would be awesome if they did change the names, but I think that's why I went with the idea of if it was just going to be Fusion Zamasu, you call him like, make him like a brackets giant form or whatever character, because unless they do change the way they name him, then obviously he would just be called Fusion Zamasu. But I mean, I guess they could, right? Just because they've not done stuff like that before doesn't mean they never will.
Right.
I mean,
exactly.
Giant would make the most sense, right? Because he does actually literally go giant in his fight against Vegeta.
Yep. Yeah, and in line with changing names, I mean, they've changed or updated unit categories before, right? Like they did it with the Goten and Trunks unit and made them a fusion unit, right? Like, so they could definitely do stuff like that. So my part one is very similar to yours. My Dokkan Fest would be the extreme unit. So it would be like the corrupted Zamasu standalone. Because the last time we got one, I think, was the old tech Dokkan Fest one, right?
Yeah,
like,
that was the one I was showing on the screen. Yeah, the tech one.
Yeah. So like, I would like to just get a new version of him, even if they don't change the name, just update him. And then Carnival Vegito Blue, I would like to just see another standalone Vegito Blue. I think we definitely could get another one. And then Banner unit, just because I like my units to link. I was thinking of Trunks in my unit, but instead of a joint forces, maybe make an exchange unit out of them so they could link with other units. But they could just do a new Trunks in my. I think it's been long enough. Part two, like I said, I did go to the Future Gohan movie. So what I did was a Dokkan Fest Trunks Youth Future. So this would be like a base form Trunks Youth that would transform into Super Saiyan, do really, really hype animation for when Gohan dies and he transforms. I mean, they kind of did that a little bit already, but I don't know. Or they could just leave him standalone and make him good, but that was just an idea. And then I think the Carnival unit that would be cool would be like a Carnival Future 18 and 17 exchange unit as well. Just that way they could link with the tech androids and be like really nasty. And then maybe just like a Banner unit Future Bulma or something, just to get some more Bulma cards. Like we need more Bulma representation. So that's kind of what I was throwing out.
You know, that makes me think, because I hadn't really thought about the future Gohan part of it, because I feel like so much of the Goku Black arc needs new stuff, but some of that stuff would be really cool. I know obviously they are at a point now where they do need to redo some animations, but I think something that would be quite cool is have the base form Trunks as one of the LRs, have him have a standby where Gohan comes in, gives him the chop, and takes over as like the defensive unit, but then the standby ends when Gohan gets killed, and then have the animation where Trunks is there crying in the rain and then goes Super Saiyan as like the revival anime. That would be awesome. So
yeah, that's what I was kind of thinking. That would be really
that'd
cool.
be super good. So yeah, definitely a different way they could take it. I mean, if it is future, obviously, you know, all that future Gohan stuff could be included as well. I went with primarily the Goku Black arc just because there is so much stuff. So speaking of the so much stuff, we'll move into now some of the the EZA choices. As I said at the very beginning, if you think back to the Cooler Worldwide last year, so many EZAs we got. And this is one of the reasons why I think Future is a good choice for this, because of some of the big I keep saying LRs, some of the big EZAs that we could get, right? So the first big one is, of course, the pairing of the AGL Zamasu and Tech Trunks. These two units are quite a few years old now. Both with EZAs could be very, very good, right? They both have super and extreme class respectively as sub leader skills, so they make very good leaders. Trunks obviously leads Future, and Zamasu leads Realm of Gods. EZAs would put them up to the full 170s. These guys would be really good. Obviously, Zamasu being able to link with all of the other Zamasus despite transforming. In fact, what's interesting is when you look at the Fusion Zamasu, I guess it's only on the wiki, but his third form where he gets the purple arm, it actually does say Fusion Zamasu mutated, but the unit in the game is still just called Fusion Zamasu. But the good thing about that is obviously units that transform are still able to link with each other. So this AGL Zamasu getting an EZA would be very, very good. And then of course Super Trunks, you know, this guy was the long event killer when he first came out, so him getting an EZA would be very, very good. And then, of course, as I mentioned, one of the main reasons why I went with a base Goku Black in part 1 is because we have this boy right here, the Int Goku Black, that transforms into Rose. So this guy, he had a mixed reception even when he first came out, because he could stack up defense in these long events to pretty high amounts, but he was never really doing a lot of damage. He didn't have the best transformation condition, especially now with some of the harder events and how hard you can get hit in one turn. But that's all something that can be changed with an Easy A because he doesn't transform via an active skill. So this guy getting an Easy A would be fantastic. He would then be a full 170 lead for Time Travelers as well. So he'd be very, very good. And then one thing we didn't really mention, I think so you guys, at least one of you mentioned units that you would include that would kind of fit under this category. But one thing that they did during the worldwide celebration last year that they've never done before, and I think they've only done it one time since then, and it was recently on JP, was that they gave us Easy A's, but they gave us the sub Easy A's at the same time, which they don't usually do, right? We usually have to wait a while for those. So that obviously means with the Tech Trunks and AGL Zamasu Easy A's, we could also get the Easy A's for the Int Mai side banner unit, who is the Time Traveler's support. And then, of course, there's the physical Gowasu and Zamasu. I feel like they could be really good with a support unit to buff some of these teams, like Realm of Gods, Patara, because they give a bunch of defense, they have built-in dodge. So with an Easy A, they could be very good. And then, of course, now I am actually going to say LR and be correct. The final big ticket one that desperately needs an LR, and again, is the reason why I chose a base Goku Black as the new unit, is the Int LR Rose. So if you think about all these Easy A's put together with the new units, we basically get new versions of every single type of Goku Black and Zamasu. So I'm a big fan of Goku Black. I know a lot of people are. This would basically give all the extreme units in that arc new versions or updates. So I think those are the main ones for the Easy A's. Joe, we'll start with you this time. What do you think of those? Do you think there's any I missed or any you would add? Let us know.
Yeah, so I've got a few different ones because once again I did go into Future Gohan movie a little bit. But I think the Tech Trunks and the AGL Zamasu is like a slam dunk. Like they have to Easy A if this is the celebration. I'd be so disappointed if they didn't. And like you said, that AGL Zamasu transformation so key, being able to link with everything. So one that I brought up, and I didn't put this in Minato celebration because I thought it felt better for this one, is Int Future Gohan. And once again, that would be if they go into that movie. I think Int Future Gohan. So Dokkan Fest. If they did like an, oh my god, like really early unit, surprise unit, I think Tech Androids would be like a crazy one, or the LR AGL Future Gohan and Trunks. But once again, those are a lot more modern units. It'd have to be like a very shock. For banner units, I think there's an STR Future Trunks that we still need.
Oh yeah, I forgot all about him.
And he's got damage reduction, and I believe there's an Int Zamasu that also has damage reduction.
And he
those would be huge. Yes, so those would be really big ones. And then there is also another STR Future Trunks free-to-play unit that needs to awaken an Easy A. I would definitely be down for him as well. And then I'm going crazy in my mind thinking, like, was there a leak for this? Have they announced it yet? But the future physical 17 and the future AGL 18, the orb changing ones, I don't believe they have Easy 8 yet, but I thought I heard something that
I think
GP, but...
well, there's what happened is they did a global and put the stickers in early.
Oh, so they did. That's what it is.
We see the stickers, and that was only soon, but there hasn't been any announcements, so I assume it's gonna be. If it's not with the Peppy Gals data download next week, then that's kind of suspicious.
I was going to say, maybe that soft confirms that it is actually Future Saga after all.
Because I had them on my list. I'm like, but I thought I heard there was a leak, but I don't have translations from my boy Minato. He hasn't translated them. So where are they?
They're not there, buddy. They're not in the data. And it's very interesting that they put them in early. We can't tell obviously when they're going to actually release. But it's very late. I mean, it'd be funny if it's like they actually just end up easying for like a worldwide celebration. Like they were the actual first confirmation. We won't know, but I assume they'll be in like next week's data download or whatever. Like usually we get like another Easy A, like an actual Easy A. So we'll see. It would match the celebration kind of, but it'd be kind of weird because it's like they feel a little out of place. But if in Future Gohan Easy A's like next week, then like it'll make sense.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, so I think what was the last thing. Now, this one was I struggled with when it came to free to play, because obviously, Joe, you mentioned there is that STR Trunks. They could, I guess, revamp that event into one of those new, the way they do that now, where they turn some of these older story events into the Dragon Ball story. Give that a revamp and then give that Trunks his awakening. I'm not sure if they've ever done this before, but there's a farmable tech-based Goku Black and a physical fusion Zamasu. But they're like the old style of event where it's like stage 1 of a Dokkan event, which isn't the one that gives you the medals. I don't know if they've ever done this before, but like give those category boosts, because any of you who've ever farmed any of these like base Goku Black super attacks, the drop rate is absolutely terrible. So give those a category boost and then give those units an actual awakening. They don't necessarily have to give them an immediate Easy A as long as the awakenings are good, but I guess they could just awaken them and Easy A. But the only other thing I was trying to think of, and I think this one would be kind of funny, I don't know if it would work or how well it would be received, but I was trying to think of this Celebrations version of like the full free-to-play Metal Cooler team, where it's just a bunch of different Metal Coolers. And I think I saw somebody else mention this, and it kind of is what got the wheels turning. But basically just have a full free-to-play team of the Goku Black clones that he creates from the Goku Black Rift.
Oh,
so they're basically just like the Metal Coolers. So they'll all just be named like, you know, it'll be like Goku Black clone brackets AGL and then tech physical Int. And then have I guess they could do it where you get a free-to-play LR at the end, and that could just be the like Scythe Goku Black, and his animation is like opening up the rift. And that could be like a cool little free-to-play team. Yeah, I think that would be kind of cool, right? It'd be very odd. Out of all the characters that you could think of to give a, you know, clone army of free-to-play cards, I don't know if Goku Black is the first one you would think of, but you know, it kind of fits. So
you guys forgot someone. I can't believe you.
Oh, who am I? This is because I don't have that free to play. I've according to Toon, I've full on entered the whale brain territory now, so yeah, I don't think about free to play units. But who did I miss?
We left the J fan around a long time.
I know. You know. Sorry, Jay.
You missed the physical Super Saiyan Future Gohan.
How could I forget?
I know, right? Unbelievable.
What's actually funny is if I go into my box and go to my actual acquired units and go all the way down, like to the very first unit I ever got in my box, he is the second unit, that physical Future Gohan. So how did I forget? It's because he's all the way down there at the bottom, I guess. But.
Another unit that gets sub EZA, like I don't think anyone mentioned, the Tech Super Saiyan Future Gohan.
Yeah. God,
I
he's
had
so
him
old.
on my list, and I forgot to say his name, but he is on my list, yeah.
He's weird, because he stacks attack by 67%.
There's also, actually, I did think about the, I know a lot of the time they like to Easy A these units together, but there is the AGL Trunks and Mai, and obviously they released as the counterpart during the 5th anniversary to the STR Bardock and Gine. So, I mean, Bardock and Gine don't really fit the celebration, but I mean, they've already Easy A'd the 5-year LRs now. So obviously we just got them on global as part of the celebration of the anniversary. So the AGL Trunks and Mai, especially with their kit, like they could be really good as an Easy A unit as well.
What if they just group that unit, the STR Rage Trunks and the Int Zamasu, and just make it their own Extreme Z-Battle? That could be something.
Yeah, because that's the thing, with there being so many Easy A's, I'm not opposed to them doing that with these celebrations where they do like 5 units in one Easy A, because obviously everybody wants there to be more Easy A like battles, so you get more lots of 30 stones. But if it means more units are going to Easy A in total, obviously you give a few of them their own separate ones, but yeah, I'm happy to get one of those ones where it's like 4 or 5 units all at the same time, if it means we get more Easy A's. But yeah, that STR Rage Trunks is definitely one that I forgot, the banner unit with the damage reduction. He could be super good. And that kind of goes back to what Joe was saying about them changing the names of some of the characters. Like, they really need to differentiate between Super Saiyan Trunks and then like Super Saiyan Rage, or whatever the official name for it is, because just having another differently named Trunks would obviously be very beneficial for that team. But yeah, those units, getting them would definitely be very good. So I think that's all I had down for the Easy A's. Like I said, I think the LR Rose would be like the big ticket, like last one. I think he has the potential to be incredibly good. So So yeah, unless there's anything else you guys can think that you would add in to... I guess we didn't talk about difficult content really much in the first part, and Minato, you touched on it a little bit in your one. I didn't really think about it too much, but I think it'd be pretty cool if they had Future Saga Red Zone, where you could obviously split the stages between Super and Extreme. I don't know if you could quite squeeze enough stages to do 2 different versions, like Super and Extreme. But I guess
if they wanted to,
similarly to what you said, I guess we could have a Red Zone, and then rather than you know, getting a new Legendary event, we could have a Legendary Trunks event. That'd be pretty interesting. Ending with the Spirit Sword. Throw the Super Saiyan 3 Trunks in there as one of the stages as well. Why not? But
why not?
Why not? Yeah.
why not, right? So I get my little bit of heroes in there somewhere. But hey, Time Travelers, heroes on Time Travelers, you know, there's a lot of buffs going on. But yeah, that's my overall thoughts for the Future Saga celebration. Like I said, I don't think I would necessarily pick this if I could pick anything, but as Joe was saying, I think this is probably one of the most likely options when you think about what units in the game really need to get either new versions or new updates. So this is the way I would do it if I had to kind of steer the reins for a Future Saga celebration. I hope you guys found it interesting. Obviously let us know down below in the comment section what you think and how you would plan out a Future Saga worldwide celebration. And then obviously make sure to go and check out my buddies. Joe had part 1 up on his channel. Just tell everybody where your how they can find your channel, how they can find you on social media and whatnot.
Yeah, I'm just Joe Wags on YouTube. If you type in Joe Wags Dokkan, or I do Dissidia Final Fantasy Opera Omnia is a big part of my channel, so if you like that game, definitely check it out. I have a Discord where we talk about those games. And then on Twitter, you can just look up Joe Wags, or my handle is SpongeBobJoe13 if you want to check me out on Twitter.
Yeah, and then I'm sure you guys all know Minato, the, you know, world's biggest Rent-A-Girlfriend fan on Twitter, but tell us...
Why would you end like that? Nope.
I think the recording went on for too long without you catching any strays, so, you know.
No. Yeah, because I'm so awesome and cool. I don't crazy.
Nah, you are awesome and cool, Minato. My audience likes you. What are you talking about?
Well, thank you very much. An audience, right? So you can check me out on twitter.com. I mean, I messed up. Whatever. Twitter. I'm calling out Twitter.
Yeah, I think we've all collectively agreed, by the way, that we're just gonna call it Twitter forever. I'm not calling it X or Zeets or whatever. Like, no.
No one is doing that. But unless it's like sarcasm funny, but
yeah.
Minatos_Flash, and then Minatos Flash on YouTube, and YouTube Dokkan stuff and translations. That's pretty much it, right? You know.
Yeah, and part 2 is up on his channel. Like I say, part 1's on Joe's channel. Those links are in the description. Make sure you go and check those guys out, give them a like, and let us know what you thought of their idea for the celebration over on their videos as well. So that is going to wrap things up over here. Like I said, give us all your feedback down below. If you have watched all 3 parts and you have an idea for what you'd like to see for Worldwide that none of us did cover, let us know that in the comment section as well. And yeah, just let us know all your thoughts about the upcoming worldwide celebration. So that is going to be it for the video, guys. This has been the Masked Ningen with Joe Wags and Minato's Flash. Smash that like button, subscribe to the channel if you are new, and I will see you all again soon. Have a good one.